Hey guys, what's up? So, good news, I am now legally Cody Luke Harman. I got my legal name and gender changed today, and it was almost pretty much the worst day of my life. So to start off the day, I was already anxious about going to court. I thought, hey, I'm gonna be an adult, I can handle this, I can do things on my own, I'm gonna be so proud of myself, I don't need anyone's help. And then to start it off, I show up at the wrong courthouse. I thought that my court hearing was at the same courthouse that I filed my paperwork at. Wrong. After being confused and not finding the building or whatever I was looking for that was issued on my piece of paper, I stumble back downstairs to the security guard and ask him, hey, do you know where this is? Where do I go? And he was like, oh yeah, that's in Roseville. And then he told me that I should go up to the clerk's office to get directions and that they can actually call over to the other court and tell them what happened and that I was going to be late. And so I was like, oh, sweet, cool. So I haven't completely fucked up yet. So I went up to the clerk's office, and she gave me directions, told me she would call over to the other courthouse, and so I was like ready to go. I had to pee, but I didn't give a fuck. I just ran down those stairs as fast as I could, got in my car, drove way too fast down to Roseville, got to the court after almost getting lost a couple times, and ran inside, was immediately disoriented at this court center because it's huge. And I walked around, lost for a bit. There was a million people just everywhere until I finally remembered that the clerk at the other courthouse told me that I was upstairs. So I go upstairs, and on my piece of paper it says Department 40. And so I'm searching around at the little directories looking for whatever, Department 40 is, and I find it. And so Department 40 looks like a courtroom, but the doors are closed. So here I am wondering, what the fuck do I do? There's people sitting in chairs kind of waiting. I'm not sure. Do I wait? Do I wait for them to call my name? I don't know. So I'm just balls to the wall. So I just go to Department 40, I open the door, and I walk in. I walk into a second set of doors, and at the second set of doors, it's like a window, basically. The doors have glass, so you can see through them. And I see people in court, what I think and interpret to be in session with the judge. And I feel like I am just completely interrupting what is going on. And I felt like it was one of those horrible dreams that you have where you just walk into the wrong classroom in high school naked. So I just look at the judge, look at my piece of paper, and turn around and walk out. At this point, I'm just I have no idea what to do. So I do the same exact thing I did at the other courthouse, and I walk down the steps and I talk to the security guard, and I'm like, hey, do you know where I'm supposed to go? And do I walk into the court? What do I do? And he told me if it's open, you just walk in and you have a seat. I had no idea that this was how you go to a court hearing at all. And so I'm like, okay. So I walk back up the stairs, go up to Department 40, go to open the door, and it's locked. So then I go back down to the security guard. I say, hey, it's locked. What do I do? And he tells me that they're gonna be back after lunch, probably, that it'll open up. And so I'm not really understanding what he's saying, but I go back up there, I wait a little bit, then I call the other clerk's office, and I say, hey, what do I do if the door is locked? And blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, well, if the door's locked, that means that they've left for the day. They're done. They only have court on Mondays between these times. What? So she told me that basically I was gonna have to redo everything. And I immediately just wanted to throw a tantrum right there in the middle of court. But at the same time, I wanted to just fall to the floor and cry. Crying on testosterone is really hard, but in that moment, I was just I could totally cry right now. And So I walk downstairs, like, just thinking how life sucks. I can't believe this happened. This was supposed to be the thing in my day that was going to make my day after kind of waking up on the wrong side of the bed. And I was pretty discouraged that my adulting attempt failed. My anxiety was something that I was able to fight through, and usually I think of worst case scenario, and this was not a worst case scenario that I thought of. My anxiety failed me in this day. Sometimes I feel like maybe anxiety could be a good thing, and it could have prevented this situation if I would have looked closer at what court and how to go about these steps. Like, this is the part about, like, if you've never gone to court before, how the fuck are you supposed to know what to do? This is not the part that they show you in movies. When there's a court scene in movies, they just show, like, it's like court scene, go. You're in there, there's the judge, there is the attorney, like, arguing a case. And there is none of this, like, what courtroom do I go to? Oh, I have to go into this courtroom, even though there's a session going on. I just sit here and I wait. That, real life is a lot harder. So I go back down to the security guard because I am not ready to be over with this yet. I do not want to go home. I drove all the way down here, and I just want this day to get better, and it can't get any worse, so I'm just ready to walk up to anybody and ask them what the fuck I'm gonna do with my life. And I asked the security guard again, okay, so I guess I missed my court hearing, what do I do? And he tells me that I should go talk to a clerk. So I go to talk to a clerk, and at this point, I find the clerk's office for this location, and there is like a church full of people just waiting to see the clerk. And it's a take a number kind of deal. It's like the DMV times 1,000. And so I have to go over to this little machine, punch in why I want to talk to a clerk. And it gives you options, like what kind of case you have. And there's like civil and family and all that stuff. So naturally, I click on civil because that's who I'm supposed to talk to, and it doesn't want to print me out a ticket. No, it just keeps sending me back to the front screen. So I'm just like, great, maybe I'm clicking the wrong thing. So I click on like family and something law. I click on that, prints me out a ticket, and I'm just like, all right, whatever, it's gonna send me to somebody that I can talk to, and at this point, that's all I can do. So I have a seat, and I wait for an hour and a half while freaking out, tweeting my freaking out. You can go revisit that if you want to. And also just texting people, just telling them how badly I'm freaking out and how my life is over. So as I'm waiting there for an hour and a half, finally my number gets called. I go to the window, and the lady's like, oh, your case is a civil case. That's not the kind of the case that I deal with, but I can transfer you over to civil if you don't mind waiting a little bit longer. And I was like, yes, just transfer me. I will wait for 5 days if I have to. And so she transferred me over to civil, and she told me that it would only be a few more minutes that I have to wait. And so that was a plus, but then she's like, sorry you had to wait. Basically saying I didn't have to wait this long to go see who I was really supposed to see. So this day is just getting more and more awesome. I finally get my number called again, and I go up to civil, and oh yeah, while I was waiting, I did get a phone call from the clerk's office over at the first courthouse, and she told me that the judge approved my name petition even without me being there. And so that definitely lightened my mood, and she told me that I could still talk to the clerk to see what I had to do, so that's what I was doing. And she emailed them telling them what happened, and so that was very nice of her. This clerk at the Auburn courthouse is very nice, and I appreciate everything that she did for me. And I showed up at the clerk's office now here at this window, present my case, and she's like, oh yeah, I think I got an email. And so she looked at the email, took my paperwork, and went up to Department 40, got the piece of paper that the judge signed for me, declaring that my name should be my name and gender should be changed, and it is all like official, and I can take this piece of paper to DMV and Social Security and all that. So finally I have the documentation that I need, and I go to Social Security. I get all of that taken care of after waiting like another hour or so, and I'm feeling pretty good, even though this has been a shit day and an emotional roller coaster. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of the day, but somehow I came home and I spilled my whole jar of pre-workout and dropped a kombucha on the ground and couldn't open it because it would explode. So there's something about this day where karma is just kicking me in the ass for something that I did, and I'm not really sure what it is, but it's been a bad good day because I got what I needed to get done, but it was one hell of a roller coaster. So if you're getting your name changed soon, make sure you're going to the right court. Make sure you show up on time, know you're going, and that you relax and find and bring something with you entertaining to do, because you could be waiting for a really long time. And yeah, that is it. But at least I am now legally Cody Luke Harman. Thank you for listening to my rant. Oh yeah, and I have a workout video that I am currently editing, so that will be up very soon, probably tomorrow. I'm going to do a physique update for you guys as well. But yeah, that was my day. Thank you for listening. Peace out, guys. I'll see you next time.